Liberate Hong Kong, Revolution of Our Times, is a slogan used in social movements in Hong Kong. The slogan was first used in 2016 by Hong Kong indigenous spokesman Edward Leung as his campaign theme and slogan for the 2016 New Territories East by-election. He emphasized that anyone can take part in innovation and change regardless of age. Hence the use of the phrase, Revolution of Our Times. In the legislative election held later that year, Young Spiration, which was cooperating with Hong Kong indigenous as Leung was banned from running by the Electoral Affairs Commission, also used the slogan for their campaign. The slogan underwent a resurgence in 2019 as Hong Kongers started using it for the protests against Hong Kong's extradition bill, leading to international attention. Annie Zhang, the former editor-in-chief of Anisham Media, said the slogan was a strong wish for an escalation of tactics and a revolution, stating the wish of protesters for Hong Kong to become a Hong Kong for Hong Kongers. In contrast, former chief executive of Hong Kong Tung Chee Hwa, pro-Beijing political parties, editor of the Global Times Hu Zijum, and Xinhua news agency consider the slogan to involve Hong Kong independence and test the principle of one country, two systems. The Hong Kong government announced in an official statement on the 2nd of July 2020 that anyone who uses the slogan can be prosecuted under the national security law which commenced on the 30th of June 2020. On the 27th of July 2021, in a landmark ruling, the first person to be charged under the law of incitement to secession for displaying a banner bearing the slogan was found guilty. The court ruling stated that such display of the words constituted incitement of others to commit secession. Quote, Liberate Hong Kong, Revolution of Our Times, was first suggested by Hong Kong localist activist Edward Leung as a slogan for social movements. Leung has continually advocated Hong Kong independence in localism and self-determination. Considering Hong Kong to be a sovereign state, Hong Kongers to be of the same group, and hoping to unite the inner strength of Hong Kongers. At the press conference where Leung originally announced his bid for the 2016 New Territories East by-election, his campaign slogan was Walk the Talk, Innovation for Our Generation. However, campaigners brainstormed another slogan in January 2016, as they considered the original slogan to be unable to attract voters to vote, alienating younger and older generations, and that its stance was not clear enough. The term, liberate, the predecessor to the Kuomintang, its first use in Hong Kong's localist movement was in Reclaim Shuang Shui Station in 2012. In its early stages, Hong Kong indigenous was most notable for its opposition to parallel trading in Hong Kong, and its series of liberation protests, organized in 2015 in places like Tuen Mun, Sha Tin, Wen Long and Shuang Shui in the New Territories. Thus, the use of the term, liberate, in its campaign slogan was to remind voters of the group's use of street resistance to advocate Hong Kongers' rights. Although the by-election was held in the New Territories East constituency, Liberate Hong Kong was chosen over Liberate New Territories East, because the latter was more difficult to pronounce. The second half of the slogan was a modification of generational innovation in the original slogan, with revolution reflecting the group's political ideals and ideological position between Revolution of Our Times and Revolution of Our Generation. Leung opted for Revolution of Our Times as the campaign slogan to emphasize that innovation and change can be undertaken by people of all ages, and that it would not be a conflict between different generations because it only requested people to believe and embrace liberty. He also pointed out that a belief in liberty is enough to embrace a new generation, and that people should grasp and advocate for their future. At the same time, he also said that many people were unwilling to give in to totalitarianism and the existing political framework, believing that they can have a government for themselves. After his bid for the 2016 Hong Kong legislative election was disqualified, he said that Hong Kong had become a dictatorship, adding that revolution was the only solution to the situation at hand. Various English translations of the slogan have emerged since it became more widely used by Anti-establishment protesters. The literal translation of the slogan is, Reclaim Hong Kong. Era Revolution. While the English version of Edward Lung's election platform listed, Ignite Revolution to Reclaim our Hong Kong, our age. Other variations include, in January 2016, Hong Kong Indigenous spokesman announced its candidacy for the Legislative Council's new Territories East by-election, with the main purpose being the promotion of the ideologies of Hong Kong Indigenous and the localist camp. Previously, Hong Kong Indigenous suggested safe